until one of the biggest games in Wales men's history. How are you feeling? And talk to me about this squad.
Excited to have put the squad out, to announce it out to the public, for them to get a taste of what we've got to help us, achieve qualification to the World Cup. So yeah, it's that week build up now. It's the anticipation of getting these games out of the way in the weekend, getting everybody in the building safely on Sunday, and then throwing everything into the game that we're all looking forward to on Thursday.
Obviously, one of the most notable absentees is Danny Ward. Brendan Rodgers says he's due to have an operation. Talk to me about how you're feeling about that, and have you spoken to him?
Well, it's part and parcel of the job we're in, unfortunately, Beth, and it's one of those. It's obviously I trusted in Danny, made that decision in the Euros in the summer. He's continued to keep the jersey, but let me tell you, Wayne's been first class, and when you've got somebody of Wayne's quality just behind, pushing for that position again, then I sleep easy at night knowing that I've got somebody of Wayne's quality to step up against.
I know, not a bad person to have behind Danny, is it? And I know that they've been in and out in terms of 1 and 2 over the years, and it's testament really to Wayne's attitude and kind of character towards Danny. Must mean that this is a well deserved for him, but equally shows the spirit of the team yet again.
Absolutely. Of course, he was disappointed in the summer. Of course, anybody would be going into a tournament like that we've qualified to, that you've not been selected to play the first game. So, of course, he's disappointed. But, I keep talking about the environment and the changing room. And people like Wayne play a part of that in how they react in negative circumstances. And I got nothing but praise for him and how he was. He was really encouraging to Wardy and it helped him through the games. And he deserved his chance again now, albeit through circumstances out of his control. But I know he grabbed the opportunity with both hands again.
I know you've got a 26-man squad, but obviously Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale are the kind of, the standout players that everyone looks at. And their game time has been limited, to say the very least. Can you talk to me about whether you've spoken to them, how they're feeling, and your kind of, I guess your decision on them being in the squad, obviously, but on them playing and with a week out as well?
Yeah, they're big players for us. Of course they are. And we want them playing games, of course, coming into camp. But the good thing is they're fit. I've spoke with many of the players, them two in particular, and I've had a great conversation with both of them. They're both raring to go. They're both fit. They both can't wait to get on camp. So that's really encouraging for a manager to hear. And like I said, I spoke with many of the players, and they're two that obviously stand out for obvious reasons. But they're fighting fit and raring to go.
I was going to say, actually, this is not the first time it's happened. So in some respect, it's kind of business as usual for them when they come to a Wales camp.
No, they've done it time and time again, haven't they? They've done it before. I don't think we've ever had a camp, if I'm honest, where we've had all the start 11 that have played domestic football the weekend before. We've never had that luxury. So, it's not unusual for us. We'll give them, again, it's a shorter prep for the game on Thursday from when we meet up Sunday. We'll probably only have 2 days on grass because of the lads that will have played on Sunday. But, there'll be a big part of that, and we'll get that preparation right. They'll have individual programs to make sure that come Thursday, they're at the peak condition.
Well, two players who are in peak condition is Nico Williams and Harry Wilson. Their form for Fulham has been standout. How impressive have you been with those two, particularly in the way that they've kind of progressed over the last few months?
Yeah, I think it's been a great move for both players. And Beth, and I think I went to Barnsley to watch both Nico and H on Saturday, and H got the equaliser, a scream in the top corner. And that wasn't unusual to see that because he's been doing it consistently. Nico even getting on the score sheet with a volley. And they both, it's a great club for them to be at. They're full of confidence. The way they play suits both players. And I think we're going to reap the rewards of that, provided now they get through this weekend. But great for Nico to make that decision, yet be brave and strong and say to Liverpool, no, I'm not happy just sitting in the squad and training with world-class players day in, day out. I want to go out and play week in, week out. And I got nothing but respect for him for doing that. And he'll benefit from having had that experience.
Obviously, not saying that Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale won't be the kind of the match winners and that kind of spark, but having two players in such amazing form, and we know the talent that they bring to this squad, how excited are you to see them go full, throttle next week?
Yeah, I thought Nico in the camp in November, certainly against Belgium, I thought he went to another level. Beth, if I'm honest with you, and he was playing on the left as opposed to where he's playing for Fulham on the right, just behind H. But you can play him anywhere on the pitch. He's just full of enthusiasm and he wants to improve and he wants to play for his country. And when you've got that, you've got a recipe for success. And he could have put one in the top corner against Belgium, barring a wonderful save that pulled it out of the top corner. So he's in good form, and like I said, that's really encouraging for me.
Just a couple more from me. Obviously, we talk about football, but there's a serious, political and things going on elsewhere. We know what's happening with Ukraine. Can you talk me through your kind of thoughts and kind of processing what's going on? Obviously, it doesn't affect Wales in this one game, but it does have a wider consequence on things going forward.
Yeah, well, look, I'm a dad. I'm a father to 3 kids and 2 stepdaughters, and what's going on in Ukraine is unbelievable. I'm like everybody else. I'm a human being that watches the news every morning, and I can't catch my breath with what I'm seeing. It's unbelievable, absolutely disgraceful scenes. And we sympathise with Ukraine, and we back them 100%. And our thoughts and prayers are with them, absolutely. With regards to the planning, we've got to fully focus now on this game that we've got, and we can't be distracted from that. We know what's happening now with the Ukraine-Scotland game. We don't know what's going to happen with our second game and who the opposition is going to be about. So what we need to do is throw full focus into Thursday's game, and then whatever friendly we decide to play after that 4 days later will happen. And then our full focus should then be on the final in June.
Listen, I know there's loads of people wanting to talk to you. Thanks very much for that. Cheers.
Cheers, Beth. Thanks.
Ciao, Beth. Rob Phillips, BBC Sport Wales.
Hi, Rob.
How are you, Rob?
I'm very well. Good to see you've emerged from international hibernation in good form. Rob, it's been a really difficult build-up because of the events. How have you coped with the uncertainty, and how do you see the way it's panned out? Did you think, for instance, this game might not be happening?
Yeah, there was a point where there was a bit of uncertainty surrounding the game, but it's out of our control, Rob. So there's not a lot we can have any influence on that whatsoever. I've just alluded to it there with Beth. I'm a human being, and I'm watching the scenes unfold. What's happening in Ukraine and Russia is appalling, and that's first and foremost. There's human beings and kids losing their lives here, and that's far more important than any football match. So for us, it was out of our hands. We let UEFA decide on what was happening. They decided to do the absolute right thing and postpone the Ukraine-Scotland game. The good news for us is that we can play this game. So that was really important for us. We wanted to make sure, we've got everybody fit as well and ready to go. We've got a big build up to this game that we wanted to get it played. And we'll see what happens after that, who we play in the friendly. If not, it'll be a game that then we look forward to playing in June, which will be a part of the Nations League games.
It has been suggested that you will have an advantage over Scotland or the Ukraine because you've got this game out of the way. In other words, that maybe all the games should have been played in June. What did you make of that?
No, we would have done what we would have been told to do. We've been told we can play our game. Brilliant. Great. All right. It gives our players then an opportunity to rest up. We can do what we want in the friendly game. And it might be an opportunity that we give some of the younger players a game and experience that at the international level. And then we prepare for that game in June. But with regards to that, whether Ukraine and Scotland, they've got to decide when they play. We might have to take a fixture before the final. We've already got tough games in Holland, home and away, Belgium and Poland. So to add that 5th game into it is going to be extremely tough for the lads anyway. So I don't think there's a great advantage, put it that way. It just gives us longer from the first game to the second game. But Scotland will play that first game before us and have probably 4 or 5 days rest then before they play that final.
You mentioned about Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. I think Aaron's played less than 3 hours since Belarus. Gareth Bale's 77 minutes, if my maths are correct. That's never a certainty. They've done it before, but this is such an important game. Are you happy that they will be on it, ready for it, given their lack of game time?
Yeah, look, the Hungary game that we needed to win to get promotion, and Aaron stepped up to the plate, and probably off the back of similar circumstances, I'd say. I'd have to look back at the minutes prior to that one, but I don't think we've ever had a camp where we've had all our players playing, the weekend before. We might have had 3 or 4. We might have half a dozen now, which is great for us. But big players turn up for big games, and they've proven that over time. So, the other way of looking at it is they'll be fresh and raring to go.
And Wayne Hennessy has proven time and time again that even if he's not playing regularly at club level, he will step up. And these could be two really special games for him because he's homing in that 100 mark.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that, Rob. Absolutely, great occasion for him, obviously for the second game to get his 100th cap. And I can't speak highly enough about him. Honestly, I can't. I think he's reacted in such a positive way since I gave the number one spot to Danny in the Euros, and the way he conducted himself. Of course, he's going to be disappointed. He's like any player who's been told they're not going to start in the Euros, and he was very disappointed. But the way he reacted was tremendous. I'm fully supportive of Wardy, and like I said, even watching him in training, some of the saves he pulls off are outstanding. And I know when you do that, when you live by those standards day in, day out, you'll be ready. And to have a number two like we've got in Wayne, who's been a number one for Wales and a great servant, and approaching his 100th cap, then it fills me with confidence. Absolutely.
And last one for me, the game was sold out within minutes, basically. Where do you put this on games you've been involved in as a player and as a manager, Rob?
Yeah, I'm excited, Rob. Really, really excited. And, it's another game for us. It's another game for us that we're looking forward to getting on camera. I can't wait to get that group of lads back together again. Such a long time to go from November to March. It's something we might have to look at because it's a massive window, a massive gap that from one cap to the other. So there's so many positives that I want to speak about in the last camp and how we played against Belgium and to relay that back to the players and put us in a good frame of mind and ready for that game. And like I said, it's up there, of course it is. It's up there with one of the best games I'll be involved in. And we'll be fully prepared for it. That's all I'll say to the supporters. We'll be fully prepared.
Hope you have a relatively quiet weekend, Rob.
Thanks, mate. See you soon.
Yeah, Rob. Lawrence Mora from TalkSport.
Hiya, Rob. Quiet weekend is what we all want, right? So just to go back to Bale and Ramsey, are you guys going to be doing anything specific with them, Rob, in terms of getting them up to ready for Thursday?
Yeah, we'll have the medical team have contact with them. We're in contact with them already. We'll have conversations with them. We need them to get in the best frame of mind, mentally, physically, for that game on Thursday. So it's not what I want them to do. It's what they need to do to get themselves in that position. So we'll have a conversation with them Sunday, like we will with every other player as well, and we'll adjust the sessions maybe to their needs as well, without going too far off. What I mean by that is maybe we tweak a couple of sessions, whether it's the attacking side last, if that means they can be a part of that session, as opposed to doing it the first session where they have to be off grass. Just little tweaks like that to their loadings on the grass. That's all. But looking forward to getting all the boys back on campus.
And with that, so no 11-a-side games as such in terms of trying to get minutes in their legs?
No, we always do that from a tactical point of view, and then we'll decide once we've got the numbers of what minutes they've played. I'm talking about all the squad. We'll decide on the intensity in that. So there'll be an 11-11, but some of the players will have played games on the Saturday and Sunday, so we can't throw a blanket on them and do it at whatever intensity for all the players, but there'll be a session tweaked to get them up to speed. Absolutely.
And in terms of the rest of the squad, obviously Danny Ward missing out and Wayne Hennessy coming in. I mean, you couldn't wish for anybody with more experience and a more international know-how, really.
Yeah, Wayne's been first class. Since he's had the disappointment of being out of the team, he's been nothing but supportive of Wardy. It is a blow because we've got, in my opinion, I've got two world-class goalkeepers, and unfortunate that this is football, this is the industry we're in. Wardy's got an injury, he's had no surgery on it. But it gives Wayne his jersey back now, and it gives him an opportunity to keep hold of it. So I've been nothing but impressed in Wayne's reaction, but consistently how he's trained, he's been outstanding. So I have no worries about that. So.
Some of the guys, the younger players, are really doing well in the Championship. We've seen Nico Williams and Brennan Johnson grabbing loads of headlines. That must fill you full of lots of confidence going into it. Have you been in touch with the players, and how impressed have you been with them?
Yeah, very impressed. Yeah, Brennan's playing some of the best football I've seen. I've been watching a few times, and he's playing with that freedom, and he looks like he's really enjoying his football. He could have potentially had a move in January, but what I like is that he decided to stay because he was at a club that he was going to play and enjoy his football, and that speaks volumes about him. You know, he didn't go chasing the money. He wanted to play football and at a team that was showing him love and playing their football. So great for him. I went to Barnsley to watch Nico and H play on Saturday, and I'm very impressed. I think the form they've been in of late has been excellent. So they play together on the right-hand side, but I know we asked Nico to play a slightly different role for us when he plays for us. But whatever, he's one of those players, whatever position you play him in, he's going to be enthusiastic and give you absolutely 100%. And it's good that we've got those players out, you know, playing championship football week in, week out at top clubs, and hopefully we'll benefit from that.
And then the other one, I suppose, that springs to mind is Joe Rodon and his sort of situation at Tottenham without the game time. He obviously came in the autumn internationals in a similar position, I suppose, really. And is he fit? Have you spoken to him? And how's he in sort of mind frame going into this weekend?
Yeah, he's disappointed he's not playing. And I've been in contact with Joe, of course. Yeah, I've been in contact with Ben there as well, who's playing week in, week out and doing really, really well. I watched him at Leeds a couple of weeks back, and Ben's been outstanding. So Joe's frustrated. Any player that's involved in professional football wants to earn their money. They want to play on Saturday afternoon, and he is frustrated. Of course he is. But I know Joe's a character. I've had him from 21s all the way through, and I know he'll be training ridiculously hard every single day to make an impression with the manager, or if not, get himself in a position where he's right for us. I think the conversations I've had with him, that if it's not for Tottenham, then he'll be ready for us. And he's never let us down. You know, whenever he's turned up on camp, irrespective of whether he's playing or not on the Saturday, he's always made sure physically, mentally, he's ready to perform for us.
And just finally for me, there's been some great nights at the Cardiff City Stadium for Wales over the past few years, hasn't there? And home advantage seems to be a really big thing for this Welsh squad. What can you call on? What games sort of spring to mind for you that you'll be hoping to rekindle?
Well, I mean, the recent games for us against Belgium, the atmosphere there, you know, walking off at the end of the stadium with achieving second place and getting a point against the world's best team with Amorim being playing and the fans engaging with the players and singing that song, you know, you don't get better than that for me. And when you've had a taste of that, you want to recreate it. So we want that again. It'll be absolutely buzzing. The anthem will be special. It's a sellout, and I want us all turned up, ready to go.
Fantastic. All the best, Rob.
Cheers. Thanks.
Diolch, Lawrence. Tom Coleman, who is online. Okay, don't think Tom's with us. If we move on to Dan Bevan from Global Radio.
Hi, Rob. Can you hear me all right?
Hi, Dan. Yeah, no problem.
Good stuff. Just a quick one from me. I just wanted to ask about, obviously there's a finite number of players that can make it into the squad, about a couple of lads who perhaps didn't make it. Thinking particularly about Isaac Davis, but anyone else that comes to mind who came close?
No, I think we started off with a bigger squad and we've had a couple of injuries, a couple of pull-outs. Isaac, I've been to watch Isaac. I've worked with Isaac through the under-17s, 19s, and now he's progressed through to the 21s. I've not worked with him with the 21s, but that's not Paul Bowden now, since I've been up with the seniors. But Isaac's got a lot of potential, and I can see why he's liked at Cardiff, and I can see why he's playing. He's got enthusiasm, he's got a work rate that every supporter would appreciate. But this is another level, you know, and it's a big ask. It's his first proper season that he's gone into the championship and played minutes. So, you know, to put that on him again and go up to this level with the game is probably unrealistic. So he's definitely in our thoughts, absolutely. I've been to watch him personally. Like I said, he'll have a couple of great games now within the 21s, and he's definitely got a bright future in front of him.
Are there any other lads you got your eye on?
No, we've sort of added 26, 28 players. We had 30 plus going to Portugal over the last few months with the build up to the Euros, but there's nobody else now that I'm happy with the 26 that we've got. And that's the squad that I can believe can get us success for Wales.
Great stuff. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, thank you.
Jeff Daniel, Ben Fisher from The Guardian.
Hi, Rob, you okay?
Hi, Ben. All good.
Can I just ask about Brennan? I mean, he has been so electric for Forest this season. I know he's played for you guys before, but does he feel like a bit of a trump card given his attributes and the sort of unpredictability he's got?
Yeah, I've been a fan of Brennan for the last 2-3 years. And again, having worked with him with the younger age groups, He's playing football at the minute that he's excelling. He's even at the championship level. He's definitely capable of playing higher. I respect the fact he wanted to stay and get that experience. What pleases me with Brennan is he's gone out and done the hard yards. So he went out to lower league clubs and played, competitive football from an early age, a young age, and that's why he's doing what he's doing now. In my opinion, he didn't sit at Forest and play the 23s. And, they've developed him really, really well. Gary Brazil at Nottingham Forest has developed him in a great way because there was questions about his discipline without the ball. Well, they played him as a centre midfielder to make sure that he tracked players. So part of that development, some supporters won't see, has moulded him now into the player that we see now. He is almost like a finished article. He's enjoying his football. He's playing well. He's scoring goals. He's tracking back. He's doing everything that you ask him to do. And we've really got a bright player on our hands.
Yeah, but when would you have first sort of come across him, Rob, in the sort of early days? Because obviously he's picked Wales, hasn't he? But he could have played for England, clearly.
Yeah, well, I knew his dad. I played against his dad quite a few times. We'd had a few conversations early doors, but we got him in the system early. And like I said, I was, even 2-3 years ago, I was pushing for him to jump up the levels. There was still, even up until 12 months, 18 months ago, there was questions on him, whether he could, go all the way. But I think he's proved some of the doubters wrong now. And the way he's playing, like I said, is credit to him, his dad, who's his agent, and how Forest have developed him. And they've now got a wonderful player on their hands. Yeah,
and obviously he seems to favour that right side, which we know Gareth Bale also favours. So is that a nice problem for you to have?
I see where you're going. Great problem to have, isn't it? As a manager, that's what you want. You want good problems like that. You want to have two great players on your hands and difficulty in picking which one. So, of course, yeah, Gareth's been an absolute legend for his country and will be first through the building again on Sunday when we meet up. But he knows that he's got somebody young in Brennan that's snapping at his heels and is wanting that jersey. So it's a great problem to have.
Thanks, Rob. Just lastly, on Gareth and Aaron, is there any fear that they could be undercooked? I know you said it works the other way as well, but is there a fear at all that they could be a little undercooked?
Potentially, if we had the 2 games. Potentially, yeah, but not with the 1 game. We took Aaron to the Czech Republic and we were concerned about the 2 games back to back. And I thought he was outstanding in both games. We got to an hour in the second game and we were like, right, we'll give him 50 minutes. And we both agreed it, ourselves and Aaron, 50 minutes. And we looked to get you off, get fresh legs on. Come 60, 70 minutes, he was still on there shaking his head. I'm fine. They go another level, honestly. When they put that jersey on, they go another level. They just keep going. So there's no doubts whatsoever. They'll be cooked and ready to go.
Thanks, Rob. All the best.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, Ben. And Evan Powell from the Welsh Football Fans website.
Yeah, Borazar, Rob. Just a quick one from me by you. Lawrence touched on it earlier on with the sort out Cardiff City Stadium and everything. How important will the Red Wall be in getting a good result on Thursday?
Massive, absolutely massive. I spoke to IG earlier and about the importance of the anthem. And, when you've got the supporters behind you like that, putting you into a game, taking you into a game, that first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of that game, the adrenaline is still pumping through your veins because of that. And the helping frame of mind the supporters put you in, so they can't underestimate the importance and the help they give the players. Even at times where we're under pressure, and we're going to be in the next few months, we're playing against top teams now in the world, not just Europe. And we're going to be under pressure. We're going to have to, struggle without the ball at times. And the importance, again, of those supporters behind us is imperative, is really, really important. And together, we'll get through it on Thursday, absolutely.
Yeah, from a fan's perspective, following Wales at the Cardiff City Stadium, the atmosphere is electric for most games. And following on for the future of Welsh football, is that stadium going to be the home as compared to, say, moving games to, say, the Principality or further afield to Swansea or Wrexham, for example?
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen further down the line. All I can speak about is the here and now. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. At this moment in time, we've got great success. The record is there. It's on paper. Have a look at the record that we've got at that stadium, at home, with our Welsh supporters, packed house. So at this moment in time where we're at, we're absolutely playing our games there. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it on Thursday.
Diolch, Evan. Gareth Law from the Southampton. I think you're on mute, Gareth.
Sorry, Rob. Morning, Rob.
Hi, Gareth.
You'll see him up in Scotland. Just a couple more questions on Aaron, if I could. Did you speak to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst about him in terms of how he's been, getting more opinion than just Aaron? Aaron's opinion in terms of how he's ready. And also, did Aaron speak to you before he came up to Rangers in terms of when he was making his decision?
Yeah, me and Aaron have been in constant contact. I said that in November if he needs me for anything and just another voice. And so we've been in contact throughout the process. I've not spoken to the manager. No, I speak with Aaron, and I trust in my medical team that have been in contact again with Rangers medical team, and that's what's important to us. There's no lying. The numbers are there, what he's been doing, how he's been training, and but yeah, I will be in contact with the manager. Up to now, I haven't been, but before we meet up on camp, I absolutely will be.
And have you hoped? Maybe it's an obvious question, but have you hoped to see him play more games at last? More club games between him going to Rangers and these fixtures in an ideal world?
Yeah, well, we're running out of time for that, but certainly, he chose Rangers in the window because he wanted to come and play games. So for whatever reason, he hasn't probably played as many minutes as he'd like, but I know Aaron's got to an age now where he looks after his body really well, and so I'm not worried about that. I know he'll be training right. I know he'll be fully prepared, and he's proved it in the past. He's had a similar circumstance where he's not played domestic football, come on camp, and smashed out 2 games back to back, both away, both in tough physical games. So I'm not concerned about that.
And just one last one, just a quick one on Dylan Levitt. He's obviously up here as well. Have you been able to get plenty of? Been able to see plenty of him, and just a sort of quick question on how you feel his progress is going up at Dundee United.
Yeah, brilliant. He's had the injury, of course, yeah. And I know he played the other day and come off after about 70 odd minutes, but I've seen footage of him. I've not been able to watch him live, but I've seen footage of him. And yeah, I respect the fact he's gone out and played competitive football at a very good level. So I think that's going to hold him in good stead.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rob.
Cheers, thank you.
Diolch, Gareth. I can't see any hands up, and I think we've covered most of the topics required yesterday. So, diolch yn fawr for attending this conference today, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all next week with different media opportunities and a match next Thursday and week Tuesday. Diolch yn fawr, pawb.
Thanks a lot.